Hi, welcome to Can We Talk Sports? My name is Arisha, aka Icy.
And I'm Carmen, aka Mama D. What about what happens after an athlete leaves the sport? Judging youth and getting them on the right path. So, have you thought about that?
Yeah, I actually dealt with it a little bit firsthand myself with my own kid, but that is a serious topic that a lot of kids, a lot of student athletes do not take in consideration. I think it's something very important to discuss.
Right. What happens after a long career? Football doesn't last forever.
So in that case, very so being that I've dealt with that firsthand with a son that has dealt with, he went from being the man all through high school, had a great college career, starting out, it kind of was an undrafted free agent. So, everything's you make it through, got two big articles, and you're just like an undrafted free agent. But then all of a sudden you go back for training camp. You wasn't there 24 hours and you're cut. The talent or whatever, but for some reason it just did not happen for him like some of the other guys that got cut. So therefore, me, I'm a dreamer. I'm like, oh, it's gonna come. There's no way you came this far, whatever. So your whole goal to me as a parent, I'm a motivator. So I just try to keep him positive and motivated. My son, I believe, was a guy that he didn't like to show the emotion as much. So you got to be careful and pay attention to it, because to me, they go into a depression.
He held it in.
He was suppressing it by staying busy doing other stuff or just hanging out or just playing video games or whatever. But you got to do more than that. You got to be motivated and do it. I mean, he continued to work out for a while, but I started seeing that decline. And I think that after a while, mentally, me starting, how your kid, I'm working out for what? That's where I think it went. He got, back motivated, new league started, gets called. Everything's great. Boom, the league goes bankrupt. So this time I'm doing everything right, but these bosses can't come to an agreement. Everybody, it affects. So it affects not just parents, but it affects my whole time. But I still feel like there's an opportunity as long as because at the end of the day, it's not just on the teams, it's on the player too to do their part. Right. So yeah, that's my experience as a parent, and what my role was. I never got depressed or sad about it. I just kept saying, do this. Look, you going this and that. Sometimes I'd be like, Mom, but I believe that you can do it as long as you really drive and do what you're supposed to do.
Right, because we're the cheerleader. Yeah, we have to be. Yes, absolutely. Well, my experience, my kids, my oldest daughter played professional volleyball in Germany, which Mom loved because I love traveling, and I would pack my stuff and go to Germany, for a week. So I loved that. I loved it. But when she was done, I was like, if you're done, you're done. And she was contemplating the United States, but she loved Germany. But you know what? When she went away to Germany, I went through withdrawals. Like, I loved volleyball. And at that point, when she went to Germany, I started being a volleyball official. Like, I needed the sport. I needed it. And to this day, when he never had the desire to play football in the NFL. And he had the size, he had the build and everything, but that was just, he wrote a essay in the 6th grade that he wanted to get a scholarship to play football. So his mom and dad didn't have to pay for college. And that was his goal. You know, when he mastered that, he was done. He was good. So I follow football. I still go to games, and I I love football. So I go through withdrawals, but you know what? I'm still the biggest cheerleader, whether it's football or it's buying a new house, or they've gone on with their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's life after football, so
Absolutely.
you have to just be
Absolutely.
mentally prepared for it.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to see that today with Jonathan. I think he's going to tell us about life after football.
Well, I've always been passionate about, helping people, and after I noticed that, my coaches and people of my support system, they were like, hey, you'd be really great at speaking to different groups of young men and young women.
Everybody welcome former Cleveland Brown, New England Patriot, Chicago Bear, motivational speaker, fitness trainer, Johnathan Haggerty.
Yay, Jonathan!
How you doing tonight?
Hey,
The red.
Yeah, I see you all clean. Over here. Hi.
Oh, this is nothing really.
Oh, not nothing, not
Nothing really.
You came in here all fly and stuff, and you talking about not too much of nothing.
Hey, well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for welcoming me.
Well,
We're
thank you for
excited that
coming.
you're here. So look, we like to do a little bit of a breaker. So we like to ask, what would you rather?
Oh.
Would you rather super hero? Would you rather fly or be invisible?
That's a good question. I think I would rather be invisible.
Good answer. Me too. Like, I want to hear people's conversations. So I just want to walk in and
Are you
nobody
on a
knows.
snoop in?
Yeah.
You. And I hope you get it right, because our last guest didn't get it right. For me,
Okay.
would you rather be Spider-Man or Batman?
Batman.
There you go. See, your former agent got it wrong.
That's how it started.
That's what I'm saying. They don't
Batman. I was
understand.
Batman as.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you how many bed sheets I ran through with my mom's.
Batman.
Trying
How
to be
many
Batman.
whippings you
That's what I'm
got?
saying. Batman, you can fly. All
Y'all
that
don't even
stuff.
want to hear that. That's real.
In
I'm
real
not
life.
even joking about that.
So, did you get on top of the house with the cape on there? Did you break any limbs?
No, I think that's how my jumping got. I could jump off of a house just like that. Me and my friends, we played. Now they weren't so lucky, but monkey see, monkey do. Don't do it.
No,
And
don't
the
do
one
it.
that started don't get hurt, but the other
Yes.
ones do.
Yes,
Oh wow,
but we
that's good.
perfected it.
Jumping off.
Right,
Jumping
yeah.
off the house. Okay, so you have a good vertical.
Yeah, it's not bad. I could touch the ceiling.
Oh, that's
Easy.
good.
That's easy.
No, you just modest. No, that's good.
Well, you said, did I have a good vertical?
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty good to be able to touch the ceiling, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Think I could touch it in the suit?
But
It might
the
come
thing
out.
is, when you were jumping from the house, that really didn't tie into the vertical.
No, because you're
vertical
going
is-
down.
yeah,
Gravity
you're
is
going
pulling you down.
Yeah.
So my journey, it all started, and it's coming out of my book, by the way.
Okay.
It started with, actually watching the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
I was over at my cousin's house, and everyone's jumping and screaming. And this is actually when Cowboys were winning those championships.
Okay.
Right? All you Cowboy haters.
Yeah, there you go. You hear that?
But I looked at the TV, and that's what I want to do one day. That looks very fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know, being an inner city kid, how I would get there, but I just knew that's something I want to do. Fast forward, going to high school, I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Was I going to go to my brothers and cousins' high school, Dallas Skyline, or was I going to go with my age group to Lincoln? So I made a decision to go to Lincoln after, the pep rally and orientation.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is
Oh,
where
and
I'm
get
going.
convinced
Definitely
you.
that
Yeah.
band. But what's crazy is I didn't get around to starting in high school until my senior year.
Oh, wow.
So a kid with a dream to play in the NFL didn't get around to even starting in high school to my senior year. In the 10th grade, I was about to quit football because it didn't look like what it looked like on TV with the Cowboys. That wasn't my reality.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, maybe this is not for me. And I had a mentor, a coach speaking to my life. And I think that was one of the things that changed the trajectory of, my journey. We all talk about journey.
Yeah.
I walked around the block and I saw my freshman football coach in his yard, and we struck up a conversation, and he knew a little bit about what I was going through football. And I told him, I said, Coach, I don't think football's for me, and I'm gonna quit. He looked at me, he said, no, you're not. And I'm looking at him like,
I said I'm
like, what?
Yeah.
I just told you I'm gonna quit. He said, no, you're not. And he said, you know why? And I'm like, why? And he was like, because you're not a quitter. And so we kind of paused. I'm like, okay. He said, I know what's going on. He said, there are a lot of talented guys, and a lot may be faster, bigger, stronger, but you actually have something they don't. At this point, I'm thinking he's trying to rah me, and I'm like, what? He said, you have a work ethic.
Yeah.
This is the first time I heard someone say it like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, work ethic, what do you mean? He said, well, a lot of these guys might be a coach's favorite. They might be fast, they might be strong, they might be big. He said, but you work for every single play.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not the fastest, you're not the strongest or biggest, but your work ethic is phenomenal. He said, I guarantee you, and I think this is what changed the trajectory. He said, I guarantee you, if you keep up your work ethic, your hard work will outwork their talents, and you'll get what you want. He didn't know at the time that he was telling me this that I was thinking about the NFL.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll get what I want. He said, you'll get what you want. I said, I'll get what I want. He said, you'll get what you want. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So I became known as that hardworking guy that you were not going to outwork.
Yeah.
And that carried over to starting my senior year, leading touchdowns, getting a scholarship, going to college. Now, from the college to the NFL, from college to the NFL, it's night and day.
Yeah. Over and over.
You have to treat football like you're really married to it, and it's just like when people heard about Mike Tyson or someone training, so in a way, it became that, preparing for the NFL, because Division One, Division Two, and everyone's trying to make it onto 32 teams, and the numbers aren't in your favor.
Yeah.
And I went to Division Two school, so you shave that in half even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it takes an incredible level of discipline. If you don't have discipline, you're not going to make it. Hard work, dedication, and intelligence. You have to be smart, because you'll they purposely put you in situations where they want to see how are you going to
React
perform
to it.
under pressure.
There you
So
go.
Exactly.
So, and then coming out of high school, going into college, you you already had the work ethic. The work ethic paid off going at the end of your high school. I'm sure the work ethic paid off in college, but you had to turn it up a notch. So all of that going into your, how many years did you do in college?
4.
4 years. So then going into those 4 years of college,
was it was not the same journey.
as
It's
everybody.
incomparable to the regular athlete's journey of where
They
you
automatically
go,
know.
you sign to a school, signing day, and then you play 4 years, and then now you have your pro days and things like that.
You have to
And
do all that.
yeah, man, the college journey is a book within itself.
Okay.
But to condense it, I'll just say that basically it's a lose-lose situation that you have to win. That's the way that I can explain it. It's a lose-lose situation that you have to win. And so you have to put everything on the line, and you have to go all in. So for me, freshman year in college, and I told him, like every other athlete who wants to go to the NFL, I said, my goal is to go to the NFL. He was like, yeah, I heard that before. People say that. And I said, no, I really want to go to the NFL. And he didn't believe me at first. But then when I would tell him, your workouts are too easy, I did that too. Challenge and with workouts, I wanted him to take, if I'm going to have a shot at making it to the next level, I have to work on my strengths, I have to work on my weaknesses, and I have to do what the people at the top do. And so once he realized this kid is serious, it became an obsession. We worked and we worked and we worked and we worked. And I got my opportunity to play in a All-Star East Coast Bowl. And, you got to run fast as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I ran a 4.4.
Okay.
And that was one of my slower times. Even though it's a fast time, I've clocked much faster. But yeah, when I clocked that, I clocked the 4.4 and then the 4.3, and then once I clocked that 4.3, the scouts were like,
They
"Hey,
go crazy for you."
It was like you did everything you needed to do." And from there, I was invited undrafted free agent to Cleveland Browns my rookie year.
Good. So did once you got through that process, the cutting process, so you're going to Cleveland.
Hey guys, we just had a glitch in our video and we're going to get back to it. I don't know what happened. Anytime you go on live, there's always something that comes up. But that was a great interview that we had with Mr. Jonathan. And I'm going to show the other part of it. So stay tuned with me, you guys. Don't leave me. Let me get this other part of the video because we got to hear the other part of his interview. Just 1 minute.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
So I became known as that hardworking guy.
Yeah.
that you were not going to outwork.
Yeah.
And that carried over to me starting my senior year, leading the team in yards, catches, touchdowns,
Wow.
getting a scholarship, going to college. Now, from the college to the NFL, going from high school to college, that's already a big jump.
Yeah.
But from going from college to the NFL, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Right.
Starting over. You gotta
It's night
prove
and day.
yourself.
I would say that you almost have to treat football like you're really married to it, you know, and it's just like Mike Tyson or someone trained, eat, sleep.
Yeah.
And so in a way it became that, you know, preparing for the NFL, because, you know, you got thousands and thousands of kids coming out of all these different schools, Division I, Division II, and everyone's trying to make it onto 32 teams.
Wow.
And the numbers aren't in your favor.
Yeah.
And I went to a Division II school, so you shave that in half even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it takes an incredible level of discipline. If you don't have discipline and intelligence,
Yeah.
you have to be smart, because they put you.
So then coming out of high school, going into college, you already had the work ethic. The work ethic paid off going at the end of your high school. I'm sure the work ethic paid off in college, but you had to turn it up a notch. So all of that going into how many years did you do in college?
4.
4 years. So then going into those 4 years of college, when did you know you were ready to declare?
Well, my journey was it was not the same journey
As
as
everybody.
incomparable to the regular athlete's journey, of where
They
you
automatically
go,
know.
you sign to a school, signing day, and then you play 4 years, and then now you have your pro days and things like that.
You get
And
to do all that.
yeah, it was different for me. I knew that I'm starting behind the 8 ball. Man, the college journey is a book within itself. But to condense it, I'll just say that basically it's a lose-lose situation that you have to win. That's the way that I can explain it. It's a lose-lose situation that you have to win. And so you have to put everything on the line, and you have to go all in. And so for me, one of the things that I did was I went to my strength coach my freshman year in college, and I told him, like every other athlete who wants to go to the NFL, I said, my goal is to go to the NFL. He was like, yeah, I heard that before. People say that. And I said, no, I really want to go to the NFL. And he didn't believe me at first. But then I did that to challenge him, and by no means was his workouts easy, but I wanted him to take me to the very best that I could be.
Yeah.
Because I understood at a young age that if I'm going to have a shot at making it to the next level, I have to work on my strengths, I have to work on my weaknesses, and I have to do what the people at the top do. And so once he realized it, and we worked and we worked and we worked, and I got my opportunity to play in a All-Star East Coast Bowl, and you know, got to run in a 4.4.
Okay.
Yeah,
He was booking it.
yeah. That was one of my slower times. Even though it's
He
a
said that was
fast
one of my
time, I've clocked much faster. But yeah, when I clocked that, I clocked 4 everything you needed to do, and from there it's I was excited. Drafted for
It's the so you go to even or you think I got the shot, then you look up, they're cutting you.
Yeah, no, I already knew going in that if I get complacent, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't get drafted in the first round.
yeah,
So I went in very focused, knowing that nothing is promised, and it does not matter what you did yesterday. You have to come and put your case together every single day, because that film doesn't lie. And so me up early was seeing guys who went to these Division I schools, who played receiver, who had, you know, they were massive, much taller, much faster, you know, catching ability.
Let me get my bag.
Oh Lord!
At any moment, I'm gone.
I'm like, man, you better get out of here and
Yeah.
make a case for yourself.
Yeah.
Because these guys I'm like, man, that guy was good. And so for me, it plays with your mind, because you're like,
Yeah.
if they cut him, they have no problem cutting me. So
Right.
I better be on my, dotting my I's and crossing my T's. And then for me, I pick the veterans' brains.
Yeah.
I'm that type of guy who I look at my environment and I'm going to make a case. And so I went to the veterans. What did you do to be in
stay.
the NFL this long? And they would actually give you the advice. And I think that's one of the most undervalued things that athletes they miss, because pride says, I got it all. I know all the answers. Let me just see this US packing. You're like, oh. And so for me, I think making an NFL team, but staying on the NFL team. In addition to
Yeah.
That's good. My husband has a big wear company.
really.
One of his,
Boom.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, that is the epitome of you. Like,
Yeah, football.
yes. That's what
Hindsight.
she's talking about.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, everything that you feeds into that together and put in the effort. The talent doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, talent get cut. It beats talent.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm having internet problems. So I'm going to just repost this on our page. So just go to our page, Can We Talk Sports, in order to hear the rest of the interview. It was a great interview. We enjoyed having Mr. Jonathan in our studio. And it's a great interview. So I'm going to be posting it to our page, the whole interview, and we won't have this problem with this internet dropping. All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to end the show on right now. Thank you.